Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form. And hopefully, by the end of this episode, you have two films to go check out. It is the first Thursday of the month. What that means, joining me is my wife, Jess.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
And Jess and I are going to dabble into some 90s Australian cinema starring Toni Collette.
So, one of them is. I feel like, oh, yes. We're talking about Muriel's wedding right now.
Yes.
Okay, this is aggressively Australian and mean. Didn't expect it to be this mean.
Both these films are out of Australia, both starring Toni Collette from the mid 90s. And we are going to be talking about first Muriel's Wedding from 1994. This was Toni Collette's big breakout role. A young social outcast in Australia steals money from her parents to finance a vacation where she hopes to find happiness and perhaps love. And this is a dark comedy, written directed by P.J. Hogan, and also starring Rachel Griffiths and Bill Hunter, and a few other familiar faces of some Australian actors. But Jess, what are your general thoughts on Muriel's Wedding besides that it's mean?
It is funny. It's aggressively Australian. I don't think I realized that. I was a little proud of myself for figuring out that it's somewhere on the Gold Coast.
The
Not that I
Florida, Australia.
is what they call it.
At least that's what I've talked to my friend Adam, who's from the Gold Coast, about.
So I could see that because I've been to both. I went to Australia when I was younger, and we didn't really venture into these parts, like Porpoise Spit, which is a
Or
very funny name
Porpoise Spit.
for a small town. Um, yeah, I did think it was funny. It gets dark though. It
Yeah,
leans into the dark comedy. Like her poor mother. She's doing her best.
that whole storyline in the film is really tragic because you could tell her mom is somebody who's really under the thumb
Hmm.
of her husband, who's a
Maybe a little,
local politician,
maybe a little simple.
a little bit. And she's a smoother.
Mhm.
She kind of lets her kids go over her.
Just a lot of agency.
No. And it's sad seeing where her story goes and moments where she finally lashes out, trying to take control when he's at her lowest, and then doesn't end well for Muriel's mom. And that was like one of the darkest twists of this movie was where that went. But honestly, it's the moment where Muriel finally like wakes up
Mhm.
from it's she
Everyone's very narcissistic in this,
well, and I think
honestly.
this film is very interesting because her journey parallels her father's, and I think her finally realizing how much like her father she is, and so sees what her father's actions pushed her mother to do, is what finally kind of like wakes her up that she needs to be a better person.
She's lucky that what was her friend's name?
It's a Rhonda.
She's lucky Rhonda stuck by her. Rhonda's and her mom are the only two. Well, Rhonda's mom is fine too.
Rhonda is by far my favorite character in this movie.
This is a Rhonda fan club.
Honestly, this movie could have just been about Rhonda. And I loved Rachel Griffiths. I thought she was
She was
fantastic.
great. Especially when they're on vacation and she reconnects with her and she goes up to the mean girls who are like, oh my God, you should hang out with us and not Muriel. She basically says, fuck you. Just
Yeah,
turns around and walks away. Good for you, Rhonda.
her like even like specifically her journey of she's living her best life. She escaped this what Porpoise Spit seems like Haddon Township where I grew up, where
I think it's any small
a
town.
town fair
Yeah.
because like it's the Haddon Dome where nobody escapes the Haddon Dome,
Yeah.
but she escaped Porpoise Spit. It flourished into
And
herself.
then Muriel fucks it up.
Well, the I think well, Rhonda has a very tragic story too because she's living her best life out clubbing,
She tries to help
having
a
a
friend.
threesome,
Love
and
that for her.
winds up, having cancer.
Yeah.
And
I guess I can't blame Muriel for that, but I will.
no,
I'll
but
do it anyway.
she gets cancer and then winds up in a wheelchair. And seeing how Rhonda's processing through that, but it's not that she's stuck in the wheelchair, it's that Muriel kind of
Fucks her
like,
over.
you know, really it winds up not being able to commit to being the friend that
Mm.
Rhonda needs
And deserves.
and deserves because
She was
Rhonda's
a
great.
great friend of Muriel too.
100%. That whole entire thing where they're working across the street from each other on the phone so that they could she could give Muriel advice about that one
Yep.
guy. And
She's real for that.
their friendship is great. And that moment where, they're performing, because this whole
Oh, we
entire
love
film,
that. That was
this
the
whole entire
best moment.
film is underlined by Muriel's love for ABBA. And the soundtrack is killer because it's just nothing but ABBA songs. And when they're performing, it's so great with how they do the camera angles and everything, mimicking the music video. And the two of them commit so well to it. They have the whole outfits. It's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And, from the start, like Tony Collette delivers such a fantastic performance. And there's something empathetic about Muriel because she's so sad.
Oh yeah, she's dare I say pathetic.
Yes. And Tony
She's
Collette
like a
plays that so
sad
well.
rescue animal that you pull out of the dumpster.
And like
Yep.
she does all these
Like
very self-centered things. She does these reckless things.
yeah, she had not a snowball's chance of hell of being well adjusted.
No, and it's challenging because she's a complicated character and she does so many things that make you want to hate her, but she's still empathetic in the end because you realize like she the conditions that led her to this point were not great and nobody spent any time trying to help her
No,
learn better.
her family, except for her mom, is just actively antagonizing her. I feel
Her-
so bad. I do feel bad for her, although she did Rhonda dirty.
well, and that's the thing.
But could she help it? Did she know any other way?
Well, and like her stealing all this money and running off,
Yeah, who gives someone a blank check? I
it's
mean, I get it, but
and by the end, you buy into the journey that Mario goes through. That whole crazy subplot where she gets married to
hey,
that
the South African swimmer,
South African swimmer,
that was wild.
and the
In
fact
the
that
newspaper, I love that. She got to go into personal ads. She
in the
shows up,
newspaper,
want Australian citizen to marry. They did a green card wedding, what
yeah,
it is.
and then they have an actual genuine connection towards the end,
And she
but
pieces out, good for you, girly.
which
Go your own
realizing it's
way.
like you got to do your own thing.
We love that. And he's a hottie. I mean, she could have just stayed in his rich apartment and banged him.
His facial reactions, though, throughout the whole entire movie are fantastic because he's like so disgusted by her.
Just so rude.
It
A
is.
lot of people in this movie are rude.
Well, and this definitely reeks of that 90s. Oh, she's chubby.
Shot comment. Oh yeah,
Like,
that's one of the first things I said is wow, they really frumped her up here.
well, like Toni Collette wasn't like model skinny in it.
I
She's a
forgot
bit
about the whole
curvy.
I forgot about the heroin chic thing that was it's
And,
coming back apparently. Ugh.
you know, it's interesting because by the next film we talk about, Toni Collette definitely doesn't look the same.
No.
But
Leans into the not quite manic pixie dream girl, but quirky.
you have those moments where she's like dressing up in the wedding gowns, and then that moment where Rhonda confronts her and
Oh
she's just
god, that's
crying.
borderline unhinged.
It's this film has big energy. It's vibrant. It's colorful. It's very brash in its energy in terms of how it's edited and everything. And I think Hogan brings a lot of personality to this. Oh
Oh,
my God, I just realized it because
everyone everyone probably knows someone who's like a lot of people in this film.
okay, he wrote Dressmaker. I was about to say if he directed the Dressmaker, that would have made so much sense.
Oh,
Um,
it was pretty close.
and I really like Bill Hunter as her father.
Oh,
He's a
he's such a
great
bastard.
he's a bastard. He's a great Australian character actor and one of the biggest names in this movie. If probably the biggest name in this movie, probably at this point, because he had been in like Gallipoli and stuff
Mhm.
like that. You know, other very prominent
With Mel
Australian
Gibson.
films with Melly Gibson, though. But This film is certainly dark. It certainly is complicated because there's a lot of tonal shifts and stuff like that, but it has a good heart at it. And there's some really great moments. And Muriel's just such a crazy, strange, interesting
Yeah,
character.
it definitely is. It's not even like unhinged or anything, just weird.
She is
Again, I
weird.
think we've all probably met someone along these lines.
And
Been that person. No judgment.
any
She's not a
other
bad person, she's just a leaf in the wind.
any other thoughts on Muriel's Wedding?
I have no thoughts in my head.
Next up, we have Cosi from 1996. And this is yet again another dark comedy out of Australia from director Mark Jaffe. And a directionless young man hired as a drama teacher at a psychiatric hospital is roped by a demanding patient into helming an ambitious production of Mozart's opera Cosi fan tutte.
There was a lot of Tony Collette relative to what I thought. I thought there was going to be more Tony Collette in this,
Yeah,
but it's really a Ben Mendelsohn vehicle.
yes, Ben Mendelsohn is indeed the young
He's
director
so
here.
handsome and such a dickhead.
We will get into Lewis as a character, but you have Barry Otto, who's the rambunctious older agent
I
who
will
really
admit I
wants to.
loved this guy.
Yep.
He was the right amount of dramatic.
You have Tony Collette. Rachel Griffiths is back as Lewis's partner. Um, his buddy Nick, played by Aiden Young, who moves in, and then you have the likes of Jackie Weaver and David Wenham popping up here. Some pretty famous Australian actors who made it into Hollywood.
Faramir hanging out.
Indeed, and he's a bastard.
Yeah, he's a horrible person. Also, I mean, I know it was the early 90s, but like, what are your security protocols here? This is the worst psychiatric institution I've ever seen.
This is definitely one of those movies where you have to suspend your disbelief because this place has no rules or
Well,
regulations or anything.
honestly, it might have been accurate for that
It
time.
might be especially like because obviously I am not aware of how things are in Australia when it comes to psychiatric health and stuff like that. But like they flew fast and loose in terms of things here.
Well, and even now, I'm not super. This would be a better conversation for like Paige, who has done crisis triaging and whatnot. But when we screen where I work, one of the first things we ask is homicidal, suicidal behavior in fire setting, which is what Faramir guy does,
Yes,
because that is an incredibly risky behavior.
yes, Doug and Doug
He's just
is
running around grabbing matches from
his
the
messed
hospital.
up teeth, his tracksuit,
He's throwing lit matches in garbage cans.
lighting things on fire, his rapping, all of it. What a
Content warning for descriptions of animal cruelty, by the way. That was a little upsetting.
yes. This film really I feel like lives on its group of supporting characters because I guess from like a filmmaking standpoint, it's same kind of like raw 90s indie Australian kind of energy
Mhm.
along the same lines. It's colorful, it's vibrant. I think it really shines when they get into the third act and actually do the show.
Yeah, that was a good time.
The cinematography, the editing, how it's all pieced together
And even
is
the way they have to sneak around and do it, they have a secret production of Cosi, which is really fun.
yeah,
Good for
and
them.
good for them.
Not good for Ben Mendelsohn. He deserves neither of those women.
And it really comes to life. And that's the problem with the my biggest problem with this film is Lewis, the character. Yes, Ben Mendelsohn is like strikingly handsome in the mid 90s.
Realize I wasn't familiar with his game. Not realize that because all I know is like him from
Literally, the earliest thing I know is from The Dark Knight
Roofman.
Rises.
Yeah, Roofman. He's just a fun old Southern preacher. And
And
then
like Talos from
yeah, he's in
Captain Marvel.
close makeup.
Yeah, and so like here he's considerably younger.
He's a
And
baby. He's like 19 or 20 looking.
and Lewis is struggling to really find his footing in terms of being able to find an opportunity to express himself.
Mhm.
And then he finds himself in this situation that he's very set in his ways and hard to navigate a bunch of psychiatric patients who are not going to act in the most rational of ways.
So you need like skill with managing people in general. He doesn't seem to have a whole lot.
No, because he's green. This is like
Yeah.
one of his first plays.
Because
And
who else is they're not gonna get like a famous playwright probably
yeah,
to work in some random psychiatric institution.
exactly. And he's so frustrating because he has Lucy, Rachel Griffith's character, who I underwritten and frustratingly written at times, but she is so charismatic. And all right off the bat, you're like, you don't deserve her.
No,
And
there's neither woman.
well, that's the thing too, because then he starts flirting with Julie, Tony Collette's character, who is a recovering addict
Mhm. Great
and
to start a relationship with her.
kind of
He can
has
fix
this
her.
goth girl kind of vibe a
That's what
little
I
bit.
mean. She does have big titty girl energy.
And she's elusive because she's not in the film much. But they have this because like he's like the most level
Yeah,
out of everybody because she's there because she has an addiction
addiction.
problem. It's not that she has like anxiety, depression,
No, everyone else
like
is clearly either they have psychiatric or like a developmental disability.
exactly. And you know, they have moments where they're hinting at this romance. I'm like, dude, you have a
So
good woman at
it's
home.
so easy to not. You can simply don't.
And it's hard to buy into that because the film's like it sets it. It's not even like he has relationship problems. It isn't
Yeah, they
even
seem like they have a. She's supportive of
yeah,
him.
and it's not even
Perhaps too
like
supportive.
one of the big drama elements is they introduce this douchebag friend Nick who moves in and over
Honestly, Nick isn't even wrong at the end.
well, he's also a dick though.
Yeah,
But it would have been one thing if they showed sexual tension between him and Lucy first, and then there was problem with that. But like, no,
no,
Lucy's just being supportive at
he's
home,
loyal.
and he's being absent,
He's fucking bad.
wandering around, walking, and spending way too much time trying to put the show on, and then flirting with one of the patients. So it's like it's hard to buy into Lewis.
What's wrong with you?
But all the patient characters, like Roy, Harry Otto's character, he's flamboyant, he's big personality, and he has just been wanting to do this. And it's his dream. And it's hard when your protagonist isn't the one whose dream we're chasing.
Yeah,
It's his dream we're chasing, and he's supporting character. So I just feel like there's some writing elements here that didn't do the protagonist any favors
it
in this
didn't.
film.
It didn't need to be about Lewis.
Oh, honestly, the end of the day, it's not really about Lewis, and he's the least interesting
He just comes
character.
in and fucked everything up.
And some of these characters so much fun, like Perry, Jackie Weaver's character.
All the side
Yep.
characters. I liked all the patients at this institution. I read a review on Letterboxd. It said that the movie was making fun of them. I did not. I didn't feel that way.
I think they were doing broad stroke kind of stuff
Oh yeah.
for dark comedic purposes, but they showed a lot of humanity in
Mhm.
these characters. And like Pamela Robb's character, Ruth,
Oh, I
who's a
liked her.
pretty, like, she has some really good acting moments with some heaviness. And Paul Chubb, who plays Henry,
Mhm.
the one that Roy keeps like battering the whole time, and
Yeah.
he finally
We love
has
that.
his moments during the show,
He's
and
great.
he's
He
great.
really commits to it.
So the actual performance at the end is fantastic. Um, I would love to see a noises off version of this where literally the whole movie's just the behind the scenes of them trying to put this show.
Yeah, that's what I would have been more interested in.
And like,
It's called Cosi, not Lewis.
yeah, and this film struggles from an unlikable and unrelatable protagonist and not the right focus for us to really buy into it. But the cast is fantastic. The film has great energy, and the big performance at the end was really great. So I enjoyed it well enough for sure.
If you're a theater kid, you
So yeah, if you're a theater kid, this is definitely up your alley. Which it's so weird that like even the main poster looking at this, it has Tony Collette and Rachel
yeah,
Griffiths
she's
plopped right
like
there.
10 minutes total, maybe. Is that?
Like she's around in the background a lot, but like she's not a focus.
Good for her. She doesn't want to be in this mess.
But then they at the end they're like they're gonna wind up together, it seems. And I'm just like, and like I guess Lucy and Lewis have their final like acknowledgement during the show.
Get out of there, Lucy.
He did. He did get
Yeah,
out
we
of
love
there.
that for her.
And she should not be with Lewis or Nick because Nick's a dick.
Yeah, but again, he wasn't wrong. Some of it,
Well, like, there's
well, about Lewis, he wasn't wrong.
he wasn't wrong about
He
Lewis.
was annoying though.
He was annoying, and he wasn't a great
It's
director.
just like
And I'm
that
glad that he
onion,
got called out on it.
just like that Onion article that says devastating news. Worst person you know makes a good point.
There you go. Any other thoughts on Cosi?
Nope.
Well, that's a wrap then here on another episode of the Wasteland Retrospective. Next month, Jess and I are going to be diving into a double dose of Michael Mann crime thrillers with Heat and Collateral. And next week, Mike and I are going to be diving into a couple of David Fincher's more popcorn entertainment type films of The Game and Panic Room. But Jess, thank you so much for coming on and chatting movies with me.
You're welcome.
And thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your favorite Tony Collette performance, or what's your favorite film to come out of Australia? Like Mad Max, like me. But make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows, all different types of interests, plenty shows about movies. So if you love movies, here you are. But if you want to be a guest on one of these shows, or you have an idea for your own show that you want to get started, join the crew. Reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. Most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.